All right, Alan. The film Sisu is in theaters this weekend. I have seen the film, and I'm just going to straight up tell you I loved it. It is an exploitation movie. It's from a Finnish director. Let me get his name here. His name is Jalmari Hilander, and the movie starts out with this like definition of what Sisu is. There's no translation of Sisu from Finnish into English. It's basically about courage, spirit, and bravado. And this isn't in there, but I would say masculinity, manliness, like a courage and a spirit to fight back no matter what and never give up. And that's what this film is. It's about a lowly farmer who's lost everything, and he finds a little patch of gold, loads it up on his horse. His horse and his dog are just going to take it to the bank, take it to the city, to the bank to get the cash. And they run into Nazis that are fleeing Finland after they've laid waste to the land. And it's a straight up battle. If you've not seen the trailer for Sisu and that doesn't convince you to go out and see this balls out action movie, I don't know what to tell you. I loved it. It's got shades of Mad Max, a little bit of Fury Road in there. It's got a little John Wick. It's been advertised as from the producers of John Wick. So it's got that aspect because, you know, the action, every action scene just one ups the other, where this guy is taking on tanks and planes. It's insane. It's also a tight running time at 93 minutes. I was riveted. Also, the sound design is something I thought was fantastic. And the fact that it's like one man versus an army of Nazis. I mean, it's not a huge army, but what would you call it? A platoon? Whatever. Yeah. A group. It's one man against all these Nazis. Amazing. And it's also the other thing I really loved about it was the casting. Everybody looks grizzled, looks like like they've been through something. They've been through war, right? And it just, you know, every casting, even down to, you find that there's this group of women they're taking basically as they're basically property. Okay, the women in this movie are property, so they're taking them along with them and the weapons that they've got and whatnot. When they discover that this farmer has gold, of course, it becomes a battle. The blood, guts, and gore is off the charts. It's over the top fun. I did have a great time. No surprise, Eric Weber did not like it because he's the enemy of fun. I think you have to look, when you look at a movie like this, you have to judge it for what it is. This movie is an exploitation film that it could have been made in the 70s. It's a period piece about the end of World War II. Nazis as your villains, a relentless hero who will never give up, in spite of being shot, stabbed. I don't want to ruin some of the things that happen. I thought it was fun, and you got to take it for what it is. It's in some ways it's almost a superhero movie, and it's look, judge this film for what it is. Balls out action fun, and I loved it. That's really what I have to say. We'll get a little bit more into it, but Alan, what were your thoughts on Sisu?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement. It's like porn. It's a bunch of great scenes connected together by a very loose thread of a plot. Right. You're not there for the plot, you're there for these great scenes. And it's a weird thing to kind of compare it to John Wick 4. Because again, there were themes running throughout the entire film. I think we were much more captivated by John Wick's motivations than we do with the main character here. And this movie is much more bloody, much more gory. I mean, you've seen basically in the trailer, you've seen a taste of how violent this movie is, how gory this movie is. People get blown up, people get limbs dismembered. I mean, it's an opera of blood and a blood and violence. And and if that's what you want, it's there. It's great. Again, I'll call it an opera because it just builds up to the final ending. And so it's just fun to sit down in the theater, unplug your brain and just have fun. That's,
Crowd I
that's about as deep as the movie gets.
Right. It was one of those Investor Connect screenings on at AMC, and the crowd loved it. The crowd was into it. They applauded at the end. There are certain things that happen that are so crazy. And like you said, the trailer gives you a taste, but the trailer is only a taste of the over-the-top violence. One of my favorite scenes was the minefield scene and how that was used. I mean, you have like whole people blowing up into like chunks of a human. It's nuts. I mean, I'm sure there were digital effects in this, but there was also model work and whatnot. And the gore effects were just it was just over the top insane. I loved it. It's one of those things like if you see the trailer, that's the movie. That's what you're going to get. So I don't see how you could be upset if you didn't like what you saw in the trailer, just don't go see that movie. It's like, and so look, I say this a lot. For me, if I go to In-N-Out, I know what I'm getting. If I go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, I'm getting a steak. Okay. This is In-N-Out. It's super fun. It delivered what I wanted. Delicious burger. Good time at the movies. I really, I and also would love to see more from this director. I don't know that you could do Sisu 2. I mean, I guess maybe you could. But I really enjoy. I really got a lot of Mad Max vibes out of it because the wasteland, like the Nazis at the time had laid waste to parts of Finland. You know, they were just like it was scorched earth. They literally scorched earth strategy as they were retreating. They were just destroying everything. So everything just looked wholly apocalyptic. And that's why it gave me kind of Mad Max vibes. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll say that because there wasn't a lot of depth to the story, to the character, that I'm not really anticipating or anxiously wanting a sequel. But certainly I'd love to see what other stories this director has to tell. Cool.
All right, let's go to so all I can say is this: Sisu, strong recommend for me. Good time at the movies. If you love gore and action.
If the trailer appeals to you, this is the movie to see.
If you love the trailer, you'll love the movie. Sisu is, I don't know, was a lot of fun.